what is your opinion on someone like mentally, like strategic wise? What should they be aware of when they get into the industry? What types of resilience do you think someone coming into this industry needs to have?
They need to understand that lots of people, well, not lots of people, but everyone will have we are kind of live now. This is what I always wanted to say. We are live.
And we're officially live.
We are officially live, exactly. I mean, this is just an experiment. Well, talking about next year, let's say, I mean, you are a senior designer. I'm a senior designer. Together, we have decades of experience, too. We know what to do. We've been around the block. We know the things, where everything is evolving into. Let's say someone's completely new. They read, sad messages on Reddit or LinkedIn, has yet another Figma is dead, UX is dead. Like, where do they start? Like, what should they do if they have no experience, they are completely new and they want to get started?
Yeah, so if they're interested in jumping straight into product design,
yes,
what are the things they should...
They just found out, like, hey, user experience, helping users, psychology behind it, or maybe the other side. I like drawing, UI, animations. They want to get into product design maybe somewhere in 2026 or 2027. They want to have a job, but they currently have, like, they're completely fresh. Like, what's the first thing or the first 3 or 4 things they should do?
Yeah, I think number one for me is mentorship, and that comes in 2 parts. So one's active, one's passive. So find yourself a mentor. There's a bunch of platforms that you can find where your goal is to shadow or get advice from that specific person who's in the industry that you're looking to get into. So find someone with 5-10 years of experience and just understand the work that they do. The other part of that is find 2 or 3 different designers that you like their work and just copy and repeat. I think when you're getting into a new area, it's about copying what you see until you develop that muscle and till you define your personal style. So I think learning from one end, from a mentor, and then putting things in practice is a really good step. There's a plethora of different things you can do afterwards, but I think that might be the first step for me. So get a bit of guidance from someone instead of kind of floating in the ocean, hoping you'll land on what you should be learning.
I think there are, I agree. Let's say that first, but I also think there are, like, 2 steps before what you're saying. You say, like, find a mentor. There are platforms there, but what to look for in a mentor, and what types of platforms are you talking about? Like, do you have a specific starting point there for our listeners?
There's ADP list. There's a bunch of different platforms. You can actually LinkedIn might be a good source. So, like, just type in product designer senior and then click on people and then start following and starting conversations.
Okay.
I think designers in general are always open to help other designers because we know the value of it. So I would start there. Start following designers, reaching out, messaging, see if you can jump on a coffee chat. I think that's a great place to start.
Right. So what you're saying is that the person you are looking to be mentored by, it's not required that they advertise themselves as, hey, I'm a mentor. You can schedule a call. Like, you can also just message a designer you find inspiring.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because you also have to, because I think here's the strategy. So I think finding a mentor, one, is the end goal, but you have to find, similar to like a psychologist, you have to find the right person for you. So it's about speaking to different people in the industry and seeing the vibes that you get. So, like, you're speaking to different people who works in different industries. So, like, do you like finance? Do you like e-commerce? Do you like these different, like, find experts in those specific verticals and see and taste and see what kind of space you enjoy.
Right.
And then you'll get a sense of like the type of people that you like to interact with, especially if you're jumping into product design as a brand new space and you've never been
Yeah.
exposed to it at all. I think speaking to a lot of people is the first step, and then going
Yeah.
to conferences, just meeting people in general, but then finding that one specific person that can be in your back pocket that has your back.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I noticed a lot of newbies, people coming into this field, they are confused by the different keywords that we use. So, just a quick double check, like UX coaching and UX mentoring. Like, is there a difference, or are they just two words for the same thing?
I think they're the same. Just like I think it depends on how the person is applying it or how
Yeah.
they're trying to teach it.
Right. Do you think people should, when an entry level person, should they pay for coaching right away, or see if they can find a bit of free help first?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm assuming that you're not going like you've discovered product design and it's interesting to you. I can't imagine someone wants to jump headfirst into product design without understanding what it entails. So do some of the free stuff, dip your toes in, see if you like the space, see if your interest was valid, and then once you're fully pod committed, I definitely recommend paying for it if it's the right
Yeah.
person that gives you value.
Right. So not in the beginning, what you said in the beginning about, trying a few people out, and then only when you find the right one, then perhaps. All right. So, I mean, they can always book a call with you, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And for me also, like, full disclosure, like I offer paid coaching, but there's always like the free intro call, like you
Mm.
said, to get to know each other, see if there's a fit. And then that free meeting always has, a couple of takeaways already, to give people some value right
Mm.
away. It's more about just getting to know each other. I want them to feel like they took something from the meeting. I think that's very important. You also mentioned copying, doing, the copying people until you see the patterns and are able to create your own thing. But you need tools for it. And, assume someone is a complete beginner. They know about this thing called Figma,
Mm-hmm.
but they also are bombarded with Bolt and V0 and Cursor, Webflow Framer, all, Squarespace, even, or WordPress. What tool should they use or start with to learn before they can start copying people?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an unsurprising answer, but Figma will be the tool of choice. There is temptation to jump into like Bolt, Cursor, the vibe coding stuff, but again, you need to learn to walk before you run. So Figma is a really good tool. There's the free tier that you've since upgraded from. So it won't cost you a thing to start with the free tier of Figma. Learn the tools, learn how to draw your different shapes of rectangles to make a UI. That's a really good starting point. I think that, yeah, as a tool. And then here's what I'd recommend. I would choose a framework to copy or learn as well. So back in the days, material design was like the library of choice. So it has like fundamentals, how you structure components, how you should lay things out, color theory, etc. It's like the skeleton of like what apps kind of use to put together. It's something that both designers and then developers reference when they're building an app. First step, just try to replicate some of those components from a library, whether it's, I don't know if Bootstrap is still a thing. Probably.
It is, yes.
Okay. So like Bootstrap, any of those, Tailwind, like any of those libraries, try to replicate within that system. So I think what's really important is that like when you're on the job working, you're not just designing the way you just freely. There is like a structure you need to be bound by because you're not just designing for yourself, you're designing in collaboration with your peers. So that's your engineering PMs, etc. So to make things efficient, especially if you're working in an enterprise, you want your designs to be implemented quickly and not a lot of pushback.
Right. Right. Okay, so start with Figma, start copying what people are doing. So do
Mhm.
you say, just go to a website and see if you can recreate it? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think it's
Okay.
the hard UI skills you should learn first. So basically, just dribble your heart out. One of those, find one of those, find one of those sites that just has like really nice
Yeah.
work, and again, find a designer or two that you really like their work, and just try to recreate it. That's like
Okay.
the very first step, so that
Mhm.
you're refining your UI skills. That's getting polished. I think that's step one. Eventually, you'll learn that if you look at most shots on Dribble, that the UX is terrible. But like
Mhm.
that's part two,
Yeah.
which is refining your UI skills. Part two is making those UIs make sense. Like
Mhm.
some of the dashboards you see on Dribble are just like a bunch of components stuck together, but I don't know where anything leads or where the information is
Mhm.
coming from.
Yeah.
So part two is understanding user flows and how information is passed from one step to the other.
Mhm. So yeah, so for if you're a complete beginner and listening to this, Dribble with 3 Bs is a social platform to share visuals of your work. Good to know. Like I know what it is, you know what it is, but it's a website. It used to be invite only. It used to be all about the basketball metaphor. You had to be drafted to be
Yes.
allowed in. Were you? Like I remember back in the day, I was drafted the way before they became fully open, and it felt like a big achievement. Like it was like 2018 or something like that,
Yes.
long ago.
I remember out in the wild harassing people on Twitter who had like, that was the thing of the day. It was like someone posting, I have 3 invites. Who wants one?
Yeah,
And then like
yeah.
everyone would raise their hand running saying, hey,
Mm.
please give me an invite. And then the proper parlance was to thank the person who invited you with that first dribble shot,
Yes,
which was kind of
yes,
interesting. So it was like
yeah.
a rite of passage, like
Hmm.
congratulations, you're part of the club.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that fondly. There's a bit of UX there that we can unpack. The feeling of being part of an exclusive club. But that's it's not for today. A similar website, people often call it the new dribble, is Contra, Contra.
Mm,
It's because Dribble is making a few choices that some people do not really like about external links and whatnot. Like I'm a bit neutral there. Like
mm,
I view Dribble every now and then for a bit of inspiration, visual inspiration, but it's not a platform that I actively use. So I'm not in the know enough to be able to have a good opinion about their changes. But lots of people are moving to Contra,
yeah,
which is very interesting. One thing that keeps floating my mind is what you said about the hard skills first. You have soft skills and hard skills. I think if you have hard skills only, like you can still design, but you
yeah,
might struggle selling your design and convincing people. But if it's the other way around, like if you only have soft skills, you're a good talker, you can convince people like you, but you cannot design, like that's perhaps even worse. So I'm
yeah.
inclined to agree with you to just design all day, just live and breathe Figma the whole time for weeks before you even try and apply for a job or anything.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. So like the soft skills are super important. Um, they become actually the most important thing later. But I think
Hmm.
what I think I would urge early junior designers or like people who are starting to get into industry is that at a certain point, your hard skills or your design skills starts become diminishing return. So,
Yeah.
um, you don't have to be the 10 out of 10 designer, get to a
Hmm.
7. That's good enough. At that point, the soft skills are become very super important. So like how you
Yeah.
communicate, because you're collaborating with others, selling your ideas, because like just because you designed a super well polished thing doesn't mean it's going to get approved and move forward with a client or with the team. You have to give reasoning, backing up your design decisions becomes very useful, like to have those strong soft skills.
Yeah. This is more of a phase 2 thing. How about resources? Because now we are talking, become a part of the community, talk to people, get coaching and
Mhm.
mentoring while building hard skills. But there's also theory. and reading, like, or watching perhaps. Like,
Hmm.
do you have any opinions or recommendations perhaps on any like useful resources people can use?
Yeah, there's the Nielsen Norman Group. So
Yeah.
if you want to search for the website nngroup.com, they have a really good, they're like the, wouldn't say, just the, what would you even call them? They're just like a resource that you can refer to.
Founding fathers, perhaps.
Yeah. The founding father, exactly. They have a really good resource of like UX best practices. Um, and there really is the go-to spot for any UX designer wanting to back up the work that they're doing. So they have a bunch of like certifications, videos, training, etc. They're really like, it's a really good place to start. You can't go wrong.
Mhm. Yeah. The certifications, they're very expensive. Well, then, at least last time I checked. I'm not sure if that's changed, but back in the day they used to have like in-person events where you can collect 5 credits, and then when you have 5, you can do a certification. And then back in the day when you got one of those certifications, they were it's a seal of approval on top of your experience, basically.
Yeah.
Lately, I think also they've become less of an influence based on social media posts. There's a bit of a gut feeling. I'm not sure if that's true, but I think so. That being said, how about books? I'm 33, but maybe I sound like I'm 50 now. But how about books?
I don't know if I have advice on a books for you, to be fair.
Maybe not a book in particular, but book reading. Like, does it make sense today's age?
I think depends on how you consume information. I think books
Yeah.
are a really good tool if that's how you like to consume. I think whether it's a book or maybe even YouTube videos, that's good as well. I know I have books, I read books, but I like consuming while I'm doing other things. And that's how I kind of retain information. So if I have something on the background, whether it's a podcast or like a tutorial, that's useful. That's how I like to consume.
Yeah, I'm a bit in between. I like to consume information while doing other things as well. So that's why I'm all about audiobooks. So when I have to drive to a 50-minute drive to a client, that gives me 50 minutes one way and back. So almost 2 hours of time to listen to a podcast or listen to a book. Because I'm driving, and then the same goes for a workout or having a quick walk outside or going to a grocery store. And I enjoy books there. But I really agree with you what you're saying. Like, it depends how you like to get information. Some people are listeners, some people are readers, others are viewers. If you are interested in books, the strange thing I'm going to say now is that the best design books, in my opinion, are not about design. Everyone will probably recommend the design of everyday things, and Don't Make Me Think, to really the classics. And yes, read those books. But the book I read, just finished earlier this week, was the book Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. And it's about,
Okay. Yeah.
quite literally, getting people, for you to be oversubscribed, meaning that you have more people wanting to work with you than you are able to facilitate at any given point, and how to make that happen. And while listening to it, this audiobook, I had lots of moments like, oh, that's useful for your career and how you position yourself and how you sell your skills and services, that kind of stuff. So it's not about design, about UX and psychology and all that kind of stuff, but it's really helpful in how you present yourself. And I think that's the key area lots of designers can grow, where I can grow myself. Yeah, so those are good books. Then you also have books like Factfulness, about like gut feeling and biases that people have. So tons of books I can mention that I won't do now, but those two are really helpful, like non-design books for designers.
Yeah, I think if I were to recommend one design book, I think Jake Knapp's Sprint book is really useful. It's just if you want to understand how people really kind of design things in like a business, like the iterative approach, like how to cut down to a core idea.
Yeah.
In collaboration with your teammates to get like an MVP out. I think that's I really like that book. It's an old one. I'm not sure if it's still
Mhm.
relevant? I think it still is. That's a good one for me.
It sounds relevant. Okay, so that's books, other resources. Lots of people ask about the Google UX course. What do you think? I mean, it's free, but is it relevant or useful? Is it time well spent?
For UX course, I'm just
The,
a
the
yeah. Sorry,
the Google one, the free Google UX one.
I see people take it. Maybe I've not taken the Google course.
Mhm.
Maybe it is. I feel like that's just a funnel to get people to work at Google. I think that's like just a way to
Mhm.
sift people in. Probably. They probably have some really good courses.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say no.
Okay. Only thing I want to say there is that it's not as magical as some people hope it to be, in a way that, magical, that it's not going to be a job guarantee for you. Like, it's not like you can sit back with your certification, like, okay, now I have it, now I will get a job. It's a starting point. But I also think like there's a big focus on the design thinking, the 5 steps in order. But then if you do not get too attached to that order, then it's a good starting point. Now, I don't think it's a waste of your time. I think it's, if you're a complete beginner, it's fine to take it.
Do you think there is anything, what is your opinion on someone like mentally, like strategic wise? What should they be aware of when they get into the industry? Like maybe I'm pointing and I'm kind of feeding the answer. Like, what types of resilience do you think someone coming into this industry needs to have?
They need to understand that lots of people, well, not lots of people, but everyone will have an opinion about your design work. In the previous episode, you mentioned like UX designers being like in the top of the burnout lists. And I think in part that's either because, designers, we care, we are about the user and very about empathy and that kind of stuff. So we really care about what we're doing, but also like everyone, you will get lots of feedback. Just to quote the legendary meme, like make it bigger, make it pop, make the logo bigger, that kind of stuff. Like it's a meme for a reason. It's because we all have to deal with that type of feedback, weekly, monthly, perhaps. So you need to be able to handle strange feedback. Let's call it strange feedback or harsh feedback. You need to be ready to handle it. Strategy wise, I don't think you need to do too much as a junior designer. I think when you're a junior or a senior in any field, like the junior does what people ask him to do. And then when you are a senior, nobody asks you anything specific. You just know what to do. You can stand on your own 2 feet. So yeah, I mean, for junior, not so much strategy yet. You'll learn that on the job on your way towards seniorhood, basically, if that's the right word.
That's the right word. Yeah, I think your first point is really, really important. Like, I think design is the one thing that everyone has an opinion on. Unlike development work, where you can't really, not everyone has that expertise. It's seen as like a black box that only developers understand.
Yeah.
The visual nature of what we do opens up for critique because everyone thinks well, I mean, everyone is a designer, but everyone thinks they can do what you do. It's because it's visible, it's tangible. They like, we can push things there and make it pop, like you say. That's when the soft skills come into play, where it's really about managing people's expectations, explaining things. Everyone has opinion, but it's your job really to present well and educate the audience or who you're presenting to on the reasoning why you're suggesting this flow, this particular mock-up website, etc. That's when the soft skills really come into play.
Yeah. And also just the design knowledge. Like when they ask you, like, okay, why this structure? Like if someone is completely new, they don't know because they're still in the mimicking phase. Like they are designing, like their inspiring designer friends are designing. Like they don't know yet. With that being said, I think it's also good advice to start black and white only. Your really early days. Really like not in a wireframe way. It can be high fidelity, So high fidelity meaning lots of detail. But if you leave out color and shadow and gradients and animations and all that kind of stuff, like the cherries on top, like if you focus on structure first, I think it will be way less overwhelming for you. Like just figure out how to make a page or a design or a form that's easy to read and understand.
Yeah, I think it also strengthens your like your architecture muscle. It's like making sure that the flow makes sense. So like you're not, to your point, distracted by the color. It's like, how does this flow kind of stitch together? Does all this information make sense?
Yeah, true. We're just realizing we're really forgetting the whole AI side of things. You know, we're talking about hard skills, soft skills, resources, reading, courses, that kind of stuff. If someone's a bit scared, like I will invest 2 or 3 years into my career, but then I'm ready to get a job. Wouldn't AI have replaced me by then? What will you tell them?
AI is not the replacer, it's the enhancer. It's never going to replace anyone. Like we've seen all these automation tools, like the differentiator is the human part. So like looking at Uber, that was great until it wasn't. And that human interaction is the most important part. You should learn the tools. Here's my thought. It's not going to replace you. You should be able to learn the fundamental hard skills. And then once you've mastered it, learn how to automate or leverage AI to do it faster. So it's about AI is basically a delegation tool based on skills that you've already mastered or do well.
Right.
It's not a tool to use because you're not familiar with that space and just to automate it. It's similar with like the AI tools and like and like Cursor, etc. Like if you don't know what Cursor is spitting out, you're basically just spitting out tech debt. So it's like, don't be afraid of any of the AI tools. They're tools at the end of the day. It's like a Figma. It's like a Photoshop. It's just another tool in your tech stack.
Yeah. So that being said, I would recommend people to start manually. That's the correct way to phrase it. No AI tools yet. You'll first understand what to put in and how to validate what comes out, and only then start doing tools. And what we said in the previous episode, pick one tool and stick to it, like one image generator. In today's week, who knows what happens next week, but in today's, it's Gemini for images. I personally like Claude because I'm very like design plus building focused. But if you're more design focused only, ChatGPT is fine too. You just pick one and get used to it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, basically. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a bunch to go by. So, if we summarize it, download Figma today, create an account, connect to people on LinkedIn, people who share stuff, visuals for you to look at, see if you can talk to them and rebuild what they are doing. And then there's a whole bunch more that I want to talk about, like how Figma is connected to CSS frameworks and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like that's going to be a bit overwhelming for someone who's completely new. So let's not do it right now.
Yeah, of course.
But I want this to be positive because it's a great day and age to become a designer. I really think AI is, design is, AI is safe. Like you say, it's going to be enhanced. It's going to be a wonderful time to be a designer. So yes, please go into design and do not let your spirits be crushed by sad and toxic stories that you read online, because it's probably not as true for you as it might seem at first.
Yeah, I think design is and always has been and will going forward be the differentiator. So it is not being replaced. Tools are getting better. The differences between different softwares is really traditionally well executed design. So I wouldn't have any worry there.
Yeah, same. All right. And, as always, like we did a few episodes back, if you really feel stuck, if you need help, just comment under our videos or send us an email, because, every now and then we will do an episode like the one for Lorik, where we are going to look at someone's situation and try and help them out. So it's a 2 experienced design coaches in one video, 30 minutes of super advice. So let us know if you're really stuck, and who knows, you might end up in one of our videos.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode.
Okay, till next time.
Till next time.
That was a great episode. So if you like this content and want to hear more, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you want to see more, please go to designtablepodcast.com, Spotify, Apple Music, all the big players, and more.